Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. I am so incredibly excited to have you here because we are diving into something that literally flips the script on what we think about the future of work. You know that really comforting idea floating around right now that the physical trades, plumbers, movers, landscapers are totally safe from the AI revolution? Well, the physical work is safe. But we're going to look at some fascinating analysis today that reveals a pretty massive twist. The business built on top of that physical work, it is absolutely not safe. Let's get into it.
Listen to this quote, because it hits the nail right on the head. Nobody is automating a couch up 3 flights of stairs. Somebody is already automating the phone call that books it. I mean, wow, that just perfectly sets the stakes for us today. Look, if you're out there operating a trade business, there's no robot coming for your tool belt. But that invisible machinery, the stuff that brings in customers, manages the calendar, and recruits your crew? Yeah, the operator down the street is already automating that.
So here's our quick roadmap for the explainer today. We'll start with the comfortable AI myth, then uncover the hidden language work. After that, we'll map out the 3 growth rungs, tackle the hiring marketing problem, and wrap up with exactly how you can start multiplying your reach.
All right, part 1, the comfortable AI myth. Are the trades actually as safe as we think? It's so easy, right? It's so easy to just assume AI is only coming for the desk workers, the folks typing code all day. And honestly, the hard data totally backs up that comfortable feeling. Back in March 2026, an Anthropic study mapped actual AI usage against the Department of Labor's task database. And guess what? 30% of American workers have zero measurable AI exposure. Zero. We're talking cooks, motorcycle mechanics, and basically most physical trades. Meanwhile, computer programmers are sitting way up at 75% exposure. So naturally, trade business owners feel this massive sense of security. But I gotta tell you, it's a false sense of security.
Which brings us to part 2. The hidden language work. What actually makes up the business of the trade?
Because here is the really hard truth. And to see it, we have to look at what running a trade business actually looks like day to day. When you're out there mowing a lawn or fixing a pipe or carrying that couch, you are doing the trade, and you have zero AI exposure doing that. But what happens on Sunday night? You finally get out of the truck, you sit down at the kitchen table, and you spend 4 exhausting hours writing quotes, chasing down unpaid invoices, returning voicemails, and trying to draft a job description for a new guy. The exact second you sit down to do that, you aren't doing the trade anymore. You are doing language work. And language work? That sits squarely in the highly exposed danger zone.
You know, this isn't the first time local businesses have faced a massive shift like this. Just think back a couple of decades. The internet didn't steal a single plumbing job. Not one. But you know what it did steal? The Yellow Pages ad. The plumber who decided to set up a website and claim their map listings, they quietly absorbed all the customers from the plumber who just sat around waiting for the phone to ring. The physical work didn't change one bit, but the business of getting found changed forever. AI is that exact same historical shift. It's just moving way, way faster.
Let's look at part 3, the 3 growth rungs, how we actually scale the business. So if the business side is evolving, we really need to understand how service businesses actually climb and grow in the real world, because they all move through these 3 specific stages, and each one has a totally different bottleneck. Rung 1, that's the man in a truck phase. Here, your only constraint is your calendar. You literally are the business. Then you step up to rung 2, people and trucks. Honestly, this is where most operators just stall out. You start hiring, but your bottleneck shifts to labor, just finding and keeping reliable crews. Finally, if you push through, you hit rung 3, contracts and tie-ins. This is the holy grail, where you sell recurring arrangements instead of just one-off jobs. The constraint shifts to retention, but the business, it finally becomes worth something completely separate from you.
Now, to actually climb those rungs, we have to talk about the difference between 2 kinds of growth. Vertical growth is simply getting better at your actual craft. Horizontal growth is about how much ground one single professional can cover. And here is the big secret, okay? AI is not going to give you vertical growth. It's not going to make you any better at reading a lawn or dealing with a frustrated homeowner. But horizontal growth, the reach, that is where the absolute magic happens.
Just think about how this plays out in practice. AI doesn't help the mover carry the couch any better, but it absolutely helps him run 3 crews instead of just 1. It helps him keep 40 referral relationships warm at the exact same time, rather than just relying on the 3 realtors he happens to bump into. The research actually shows massive productivity gains here, running up to 34%, especially for less experienced workers. It literally shatters the ceiling on your reach. That leads us straight into part 4, the hiring marketing problem, finding the actual help you need.
Okay, but here's the catch. Reaching more customers only works if you actually have the hands to do the work. Which brings us to a huge point. Did you know survey data shows that over 2/3, 66%, of trade professionals say they could grow if they could just find quality workers? They are convinced they have a hiring problem, but actually, they don't. What they have is a marketing problem wearing work boots. Think about it. Recruiting uses the exact same machinery as marketing. You identify an audience, you build awareness, you make an irresistible offer, and you follow up relentlessly. It's the exact same process, you're just pointing it at a different list of people.
And let's be real, traditional marketing and recruiting is getting brutally expensive. Listen to this number, $90.92. Back in 2025, that was the average cost per lead across home services campaigns. That was up over 10% year over year. And remember, a lot of those leads are shared. They're sold to 3 or 4 of your competitors at the exact same moment. So realistically, they only close maybe 10 to 20% of the time.
Now, to fix this, you need dedicated people grinding on business development and marketing. You need someone building partner lists, following up, asking for reviews, and running continuous recruitment ads. But if you were to go out and hire 2 human employees to do this, let's call them Sage for sales and Aria for marketing, between their base pay, payroll taxes, and the average $5,400 it costs just to hire them, you are staring down the barrel of roughly $140,000 a year. If your whole business is doing $700,000 in revenue, there's no way you can afford that. So what happens? You end up doing it all yourself, exhausted, late at night.
Which brings us to our final section, Part 5, Multiplying Your Reach, Using AI Agents as the Solution.
This is exactly why we need to completely rethink how we operate. What if those 2 roles weren't crazy expensive humans, but AI agents working continuously in the background for you? Let's talk about how this builds incredible tangible value across a few different trades. For a moving company, an AI agent can keep 40 realtor relationships warm all year round. Since a realtor does about 9 or 10 transactions a year, 10 solid realtors could mean up to 200 move opportunities arriving steadily, not just during the crazy summer rush. Or what about property management? An AI can comb through public listings to find out-of-state owners with gap nights. Recovering just 20 gap nights on a single property can add $990 in pure fee revenue. Scale that across 60 doors, you've just massively increased the valuation of your entire business. And for landscaping, it is all about route density. AI can target the immediate neighbors of your existing customers so you build route density block by block, completely slashing your unbillable drive time.
Just think about the stark operational difference this creates. When you do the business side by hand, finding buyers only happens when you have a slow week and panic sets in. With AI, it happens every single day across your entire territory. Partner relationships? By hand, it's just the 3 people you randomly know. With AI, it's 40 partners kept warm year-round with customized, smart follow-ups. And asking for reviews goes from the ones you happen to remember to literally every single completed job. And the best part of this whole shebang? Every single message still comes right to your phone for approval before it sends out. It just does the relentless legwork you do not have time for.
Which brings us to the ultimate question for any trade operator listening today. You started with your hands. Will your business end there? Look, AI is not going to turn a wrench or push a mower anytime soon, but it is entirely rewiring how the business of the trades gets found, staffed, and scaled. The big winnings here, they aren't going to the tech companies. They are going to go to the local operators who adopt this technology to do their legwork, leaving their competitors totally stuck on rung 2. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really want you to think about your own workflows this week. What invisible language work is keeping you up on a Sunday night? Take care and keep learning.